Good evening, dear ones. We're going to start the evening today by singing All Good, All Good. Love to hear you join in if you
All good, holy, holy. Well, greetings and welcome to Reflections on Your 12 Powers this evening. You may ask, well, what are those 12 powers, or some refer to as our 12 faculties? Basically, those 12 powers include a spiritual or metaphysical look at the expressions of the divine that is inherent within each and every one of us. Those 12 expressions of power will be covered in this experience as we explore the basic and fundamental attributes of the divine mind, divine heart, that form our spiritual nature and expresses through us as divine and perfect spiritual ideas.
Well, today is Ash Wednesday. It's the first day of Lent. And it might be interesting for you to know that Lent comes from the Anglo-Saxon word for spring. It's also derived from the word that means lengthen. And of course, we notice that the days are getting longer as we come into spring. Traditionally, Lent is the annual season of fasting, prayer, and penitence that lasts for 40 days. And it was customary to sprinkle ashes on the heads of the participants in Ash Wednesday services. They loved to come do that ritual. In the New Thought and ancient wisdom teachings, of which unity is a part, Lent is a season for spiritual growth and unfoldment. And during this time, we refrain from erroneous thoughts. We don't have to give up sugar. We turn our minds and hearts in the direction of the all good, or the spiritual realm of thought. So in that space, we return to the realization that we are whole and well, our true self. Now, this requires spiritual fasting, which means that we abstain from negative thinking and meditate on spiritual truth until that truth is incorporated into our consciousness. So let us begin Ash Wednesday and our reflections on the 12 powers. The first power is faith.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about faith. And remind ourselves by asking the question, what is that? What is faith? Well, the biblical definition is faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Well, this belief or trust in the invisible is one of our greatest gifts. For this faculty of faith allows us to draw upon knowledge, to draw upon wisdom, and to take action. Even when we don't consciously know what comes next, we take the first step. Then our spiritual faculty of faith heightens our power of perception, whereby we manifest our deepest desires, our God desires that are always there, waiting to be awakened, and faith is awakened within us by letting go of the need to understand all the intricacies, all the steps in life. Well, meditation and prayer are the key tools we can use to infuse our consciousness with the activity of this faculty, of this power. And this allows and shows us that everything is possible through faith.
God, through faith, awakens in me now. 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 God, through faith, awakens in me now.
Faith fosters strength. Let us reflect upon that in the silence for a few moments.
What is strength? Strength is the power to do, a capacity to accomplish. It allows us to turn away from the negative and fully embrace the pure spiritual support that flows in and through each one of us. Strength is more than physical ability. It originates in spirit and sustains body, mind, and soul. Strength awakens in us when we trust in divine intelligence to hold us steady and firm in face of challenge. By lifting our consciousness higher to harmonize with divine mind, we become steadfast and strong.
In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong. In God I am steadfast and strong.
Let's take this into silence for just a moment. Strength fosters love.
We ask now, what is this thing we call love? Love, of course, is the power that joins and binds this universe and everything in it as one. It is indeed the perfect union between our mind and the mind of God and divine mind that is everywhere present. This force of love cannot be suppressed. Love cannot ever die. For even when we are not aware of love, it prevails, dissolving fear, shoring up our faith and our strength. Higher love is awakened in us when we consciously love our hearts and we are willing to be open as well as vulnerable. It is our faith faculty that gives us strength to cultivate a loving attitude even in the face of negative influences that sometimes come into our lives. As we tune in to our divine love, we expand in mind, body, and soul.
Divine love awakens in me now. Divine love awakens in me now. Divine love awakens in me now. Divine love
meditate on love for a few moments in the quietness. Love fosters power.
And what is power? Our power center is located in the throat area. And this center controls all of our vibratory energies. This means that every word we speak carries the power to form our consciousness and our world. Every word leaves an imprint on the ethers. Thus, speaking from a spirit-centered consciousness forms our world and our experiences. Power awakens when we are conscious of our word, our actions. And the more we cultivate a living, loving approach to the world, the more we cultivate a harmonious relationship with the divine. Spiritual power builds within us as we become masters of our lives.
God's gift of power quickens in me now. 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 God's gift of power quickens in me now.
Let's take our divine power into silence. Power fosters imagination.
And what is this faculty of imagination? Well, imagination is our faculty that images and then forms that image. Before we can manifest anything, no matter what it may be, we must have an idea or image first. Indeed, this power of imagination forms the picture, then brings the idea into expression. As a result, we mold our ideas into shape, into what we can see with our eyes. Spirit projects images meant to guide us. But we have but faith. We can carry any idea, no matter what it is, to fruition with our power of imagination. Indeed, this faculty of imagination is awakened when we open and we allow the images from spirit to flow into our minds and into our hearts. In our communication with the Spirit of the living God, we receive divine ideas through meditation, through our dreams, and from our visions. When we bring these ideas into our conscious minds, we bring them into our world.
Nation quickens in me now. God's imagination 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 quickens in me now.
Reflect on this faculty of imagination we all have in the quietness for a few moments. Imagination fosters understanding.
What is understanding? How do we understand understanding? Understanding is our ability to apprehend and realize the laws of thought and the relation of ideas to one another. This is how we come to understand our relationship to God and others. Understanding knows and compares in wisdom rather than judgment. Understanding is deep spiritual knowing. When we understand, we know what to do. Understanding is awakened within when we work in unity with Holy Spirit to see truth. We ask questions. We listen. Remain quiet. Allow our opinions to go dormant. When we see the activity of God in our lives with true understanding, we are better able to rightly use our ability to discern.
It quickens in me now. God's understanding 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 quickens in
understanding fosters right judgment.
What now is judgment? Well, judgment is always, or ought to always, be paired with wisdom. We must always be able to discover the best and the highest good. Thus, spiritual discernment places wisdom above all else. Judgment, at least from a spiritual perspective, does not name anything right or wrong. It sees in the all-knowing within to bring wisdom to the fore, to the front. Judgment, or more accurately, spiritual discernment, is awakened when we choose to look for wisdom in any and all circumstances, no matter what it may be. We release the desire to name things good or bad based on reaction or in favor of simply seeing things as they are. When we go within and we communicate with our inner wisdom, we activate the spiritual discernment that we have at our available. When we are in union with our inner wisdom, we judge rightly.
Divine judgment awakens in me now. 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 Divine judgment awakens in me now.
Let us now meditate on the faculty of divine judgment. Right judgment fosters right use of will.
And what is will? Will is the executive power of the mind. It is the point from which all action comes forth. While other faculties are subjective, will is objective and alert. Will takes action and can become overbearing unless we rely on understanding and wisdom to rightly direct us. Will is the personality. It is how we express ourselves in the world. And will is awakened by understanding and wisdom, which show the personality the highest and best form of expression. By releasing personal will, we release inner conflict, clearing the path ahead.
Thy will be done. 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 Thy will be done.
And let us invite divine will into the silence. Right use of will fosters divine order.
What then is this divine order? Well, divine order, among other things, is the process, the logical process, by which divine principle manifests. Life unfolds as it should. And we know this innately. We know that everything is unfolding as it should at this moment. When we align with divine law, when we align with order, we agree to follow the flow of both visible and the invisible planes. We walk by faith, knowing that there is more to life than what the human eye can see. Divine order is awakened by stopping, by taking a step back to allow understanding to show us the right way, the right path, to point us in the correct direction. We release the need to direct our lives, to create our own order. We let the Spirit run our life. We give our own will up to the will of the Holy Spirit, the whole Spirit of God that moves in and through us with unbridled zeal.
Divine order awakens in me now. 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 Divine order awakens in me now.
And feel that divine order in the quietness of our being. divine order fosters zeal.
And what is zeal? Zeal is the affirmative impulse of existence. It says, go forward. Zeal is the eternal urge behind all things. Zeal is excitement, joy, impulse. Therefore, zeal also must be tempered with wisdom and understanding. When we plow headlong into something, we may get in over our heads. But that impulse, that excitement, is absolutely necessary for us to take action. True zeal is awakened when we temper our enthusiasm with wisdom and bring our lives into balance. Excessive zeal weakens us, while balanced zeal feeds us, gives us strength. We cultivate balanced zeal by declaring divine order and abiding by our declaration. With balanced zeal, we can go forward and rightly use our faculty of renunciation.
God's gift of zeal awakens in me now. God's gift of zeal awakens in me now. Oh, God's gift of zeal awakens in me now. 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 God's gift of zeal awakens in me now.
Let's take divine zeal into the silence, into our hearts. Balanced zeal fosters renunciation.
What then is renunciation? Renunciation is the process through which we change our minds from believing we must manifest our personal will to knowing that all is divine order. With our understanding comes the wisdom and strength to have faith in the imaginative force that makes power and love show up and manifest in our life and in our world. When we have released attachment to negativity, we are enthusiastic about life and we go forward. Renunciation is awakened when we consciously release anger, when we release fear, when we release resentment and judgment from our minds. We are reminded that through prayer and meditation and a conscious desire, we bring our highest selves to the fore. We forgive ourselves. We release the need to control. We release the need to be in charge. Through this process, we put ourselves in harmony with the divine. And as a result, we greatly improve our quality of life.
Through Christ I am releasing all. 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 Through Christ I am releasing all.
Let us reflect on that renunciation, releasing all in the quietness of our being. Renunciation fosters life.
And so we ask, what is life? Life is the energy that propels all life forms to action. Life is creative. Life is sensation. Life is feeling. Life is eternal. The life that flows through us is physical, it is mental, it is spiritual. The divine, God, the force, expresses through us as life, as action. Life awakens by the constant cultivation of our other 11 faculties, our 11 powers. Certainly we are alive, but to embrace life and live it fully, we have to develop faith, stand in our strength, and love divinely. We use our power of the word rightly, activate our imaginations, clarifying them with understanding and judgment. We balance will and zeal while renouncing belief in the negative and affirming that life is holy and sacred.
God's gift of life quickens in me now. 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 God's gift of life quickens in me
Let us embrace life in the silence. And now take about 3 cycles of breath to bring yourself back, coming back into the room. We thank you for participating in the reflections on your 12 powers. As you embody and express these faculties in your life, you will be on your way to being the highest and best expression of yourself. A strong, powerful, positive, wise, loving, and again, wise expression of the Spirit of the living God.
Well, at this time, we invite those who may be watching online to support the work and the consciousness that we are spreading at Spiritual Life Center. And you can do so by texting SLC Love at 44321, or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, click the Donate tab and give in other ways, including by mail. For those who are present, we invite you to offer a gift or offering. To again, join in this consciousness of spreading these principles to as many people as we can on our planet, knowing that at this time, more than ever, or as ever, it is so important that we practice these principles, and most importantly, practice more love. So, we thank you, we appreciate you. And at this time, we can affirm our offertory blessing, I believe. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Well, we're going to sing this song, and I put all the lyrics up there just in hopes that some of you might be inspired, maybe all of you, to sing along.
Break through all my doubts, break through
We take this time to remember who and what we really are, our true identity. We're reminded that each and every one of us are the light that lighteth every man and woman that cometh into this world. And as we let our light so shine before men and women and all that cross our path, we remind everyone of the truth. That there's something within us that is far more powerful than anything that we face in our external world. Challenges may come, problems may come into the human mind and our hearts and our world. But we know those are not the final word. They are not eternal. The eternal thing is the presence and the power and the love of God itself. And that presence is within each and every one of us. And as we make that energy the activity of our awareness, through all that we do, through all that we radiate, we know that that which is within us is far more powerful than that which is taking place in our world. So we say, let God be God in us. Let love be love in us. Let joy be joy in us. Let all the qualities and the faculties that we have just gone through be expressed through and as us. For this is a mighty truth. And this mighty truth serves as a force field around all other things unlike it. So we open up ourselves to be the vessels and the channels and the vehicles and the instrumentalities of this presence that we call God. And we do so to such a degree that we begin to anchor more of heaven on earth, and we begin to see the world as it can be at its highest and at its best. This is our commission, this is our charge, and why we are here. The Spirit of the living God needs us to shine its light. And we let that light so shine that nothing can block its power, its energy, its love, its ability to move us from where we are to where we can be. It is already done in the mind and heart of God. And we simply lift ourselves to be one with the one. And as we do, we are resting assured that all is well. So it is.
Strong
indeed break through. And with that, I simply invite you to join in consciousness as we recite and affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Indeed.